Here in the Mid-South, we're blessed with good, reliable, cool season forages. But as so many of our recent summers have taught us, we really need a good, warm season perennial to complement our cool season forages. Native grasses are one option that we can use for just such a complement. This particular plant is switchgrass, which, as you can see from this plant, is a very high yielding species, about 5 tons per acre or more. Is also very good forage. It grows on very wet sites, it can grow on very dry sites, it's very adaptable, and it produces excellent gains on cattle as long as it's kept vegetative, as you see with this plant right here. Easterngamagrass is another one of the native grasses that can be useful in a forage system here in the Mid-South. This is Easterngamagrass that I'm standing in, and like switchgrass, it's a very high yielding grass, 5, 6 or more tons per acre in a typical year. Easterngamagrass has a little bit earlier growth season than switchgrass, so by mid-April it would be ready to graze in most circumstances. Another one of our native grasses is big bluestem. Big bluestem is probably the best forage of all of our native grasses. You can see it has a fine leafy texture, and like the other natives, produces a lot of forage, about 4 to 5 tons per acre. Big bluestem can grow on a wide variety of sites, but cannot grow on sites as wet as those where we grow switchgrass and Easterngamagrass. It needs somewhat better drained soil. Big bluestem also is not quite as drought tolerant, but does extremely well in our summers and would be more drought tolerant, for instance, than Bermuda grass. Indian grass is the latest maturing of our native grass varieties. Typically doesn't put up seed heads until late June and even on into July. It produces about the same amount of yield as big bluestem, about 4 to 5 tons per acre, but prefers drier sites than big bluestem. And like big bluestem, it does not need a lot of nitrogen fertilizer, about 60 units per acre. Because of its growth habit and its seasonality, it fits well in a mixed stand with big bluestem, and we often plant it that way and manage it that way. If you're interested in learning more about native grass forages, go to the Center for Native Grasslands Management webpage or to utbeef.com.